And like all those regrets, all those times you're like, did I fucking waste 5 years of my time being like, I'm not good enough? Or like, oh, I wish I was a bit, like what a fucking waste of your life. Yeah. I mean, they might be a little shocked if I went home and said that I'd become a travelling gypsy doing tarmac, but it's also, that's very different. They do, from really hard stuff from childhood, really deep, painful things, and I'm really happy to hold this. Yeah, I don't know. I think leaving school was quite hard, and then feeling a bit lost and stuff. I remember being super sensitive when I was a teenager, and then getting into a not great relationship. They didn't take me to hospital or anything. Woke up the next day, and I felt like I was in a really, really bad place. I was having panic attacks all the time. I felt like I was kind of like deep in this hole.
Are you memorable, Raylah?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So that's one thing about me, is I'm not boring.
You're not boring?
No, I'd say that's one good thing.
You can't say that at the beginning of the fucking episode now. People are going to judge you on that.
Well, that's the thing as well, right? Because sometimes, even if you are interesting, I think if you're just talking normally, you can come across really bland and really fucking boring.
People in the comments, people going, she's fucking boring. No, she's not.
She said she was really fucking interesting. She was so
she was
dull.
Not boring. Yeah. Welcome to Full Power Podcast. Raylah.
Thank you. You remember who I am?
Yeah, I've remembered. All of a sudden, it just came
back to me. It's come back to me.
So I had an epiphany. An epiphany. An epiphany. Yeah, I did have an epiphany. I feel like I'm just about to eat the microphone. Have you ever had an epiphany?
I guess, through your life, you have them every so often, right? Where you realise something, really incredible.
Yeah, so tell us one.
I guess that relates back to my story,
What's your biggest epiphany?
Do you want me to answer that question?
No, the questions that I ask. No, mainly most of the questions that I ask, I'd like you to just have a really uncomfortable silence and then just look at me vacantly and ask another one, and we'll just carry on through the podcast. That's how I do all the podcasts. I just answer.
I know, but you're ruining my story already.
I'm ruining your story.
Yeah.
All right.
I get the epiphany would be that I really want to be alive and I'm not on this planet.
You want to be alive and on this planet?
Yeah.
Was there times when you didn't want to be alive and on this planet?
Yeah, there was, yeah.
How were they and how did you get there?
So I feel like it was probably a little bit earlier, but maybe early 20s is when I really hit a kind of, I guess, went through my, dark phase.
Rock bottom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to come out the other side. And
did you not come out the other side?
I did.
All right.
I did come out the other side. So, yeah, early 20s, I was in a pretty bad relationship. Mm-hmm. I was smoking weed to, numb my feelings and try and... I actually remember the first time doing that and thinking, wow, this makes me feel better and I don't feel sad anymore, or I don't feel...
Smoking weed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was teaching my friend Di this the other day, which she dies 77. No
way.
Yeah, and I was teaching her about backflipping and how I met there was this Moroccan guy and I used to smoke weed with him on the way back from Fabric when I used to live in London.
Yeah.
And he just did this thing and I was watching him. I was what the fuck is he doing? And then he had this joint and then there was this big bit of paper down the side of it. And then he lit the piece of paper and he did this thing with the joint and kind of just went, and the paper burnt up the side and then lit the joint and then he started smoking it. And I was like, wow, what was that?
Skills,
I need to know that. And he was it's just backflipping. And I was that was really cool, man. And he was actually, it's so that you actually use the least amount of paper when you roll in a joint. So you'd use a silver long skin, the super skins.
Yeah,
and then you'd
because you don't want to smoke that much paper.
You want to smoke as little paper as possible.
Yeah.
Because obviously the green skins and that is all you can taste is the paper.
Definitely.
So yeah, you would smoke just one roll of the paper and then you'd burn that other bit away. But it's
I remember doing that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a really important life skill, I would say.
I know, but people out there might have wanted to learn it. And if you do want to know how to do backflips, just Google it on YouTube.
You could do it with one hand and stuff like that.
You could roll a joint with one hand?
Yeah.
Whilst driving?
No, I obviously wasn't driving. That would be dangerous.
Okay. I had a friend who could roll a joint whilst driving.
Yeah.
I was like, mate, really? On a motorway?
Life skills. Yeah.
What? Yeah. Anyway.
So.
Smoking weed made you feel good.
Temporarily, I guess,
yes,
right?
Yes, of course.
That's what these things do. They kind of cover up maybe, or they're you're self-medicating in some way. I wasn't in a great relationship. Got chucked out of my first uni.
Mm-hmm. For what?
Just for not really going to lessons and going travelling when I was supposed to be.
Okay, so you wasn't like you wasn't like causing trouble?
No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And how did you become posh, like quite posh? Was you
Probably
born into that, or did you learn that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born into that, yeah. So I went to public school, so probably from a young age.
Why do they call it public? Because they're not very public, are they? They're like
No, it's either public or private, weird, right?
Yeah,
and then
I know,
state
but
school.
yeah. So it wasn't a state school; it was a private school.
It was a private school, yeah.
And where was it?
I went to a few. So I went to Dulwich College Prep School and then King's Canterbury in Kent, and then
Just
Eastbourne
all
College.
sounds posh, like
Yeah.
prep school.
We had like a broken collar and a brooch and stuff, you know, and
What,
a
they break your
waistcoat.
collarbone as you.
No, it's like a white collar that like comes down on either side. It's like
right.
broken on the top.
Okay.
And you wore a brooch and you had a pleated shirt and a waistcoat and yeah.
So what's prep school? Is prep school leading up to high school? Or
Yeah, prep school's like up to 13. So
Okay.
like state would go 11 plus and 13 plus for private school.
is that girls' school?
No, not girls'
Mixed?
school. No, mixed, yeah.
And how was that? Was it boarding though, or do you go?
Yeah, boarding, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'd be away from your parents for quite a long time. Do you know, I really enjoyed it. There was like one hard term, but otherwise it was good.
So and how long? From what age are you away from your parents?
So I was away from like 11 and I chose to be.
Okay.
But I see other people away from their parents at like 7 years old.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like some boys that are really attached to their mothers at that time, that makes me think actually as well, you know, when I'm giving when someone's my client and they've had something like that, you know, the unconscious, subconscious maybe makes a decision at that time.
Yeah.
So like when your parents leave you and maybe you're really attached to them and you feel really rejected and the pain is just so unbearable, they maybe make a decision at that time, like I'm never gonna, I don't know, trust someone again, right?
Yeah.
Or like I'm on my own, like I need to satisfy myself, that leads to like a fear of intimacy. And whether that's with like drugs or alcohol or whatever that is, you know, with work or something, to like feed themselves to never put themselves in that situation again. So, yeah, I had a good experience, but I feel like the only problem is you learn from your peers, right? Which isn't always the best thing.
Like I always thought, like, do you know, like politicians and 99% of politicians all went to public school, didn't they?
Yeah.
And well, you know,
And their kids do, even if they're...
Yeah, and the kids do. And basically all politicians got left by the mother at the age of 6. So then pressing a button to like kill 100,000 kids in a city in somewhere in thingy is probably like because they just have a disconnect from emotion and that the maternal. Yeah, I think it would, for me, it'd make me a little bit desensitized to the world, which would allow me to probably kill hundreds of thousands of people easier.
Well, I think it would do lots of things depending on the situation and the decision that you made, right?
Yeah.
Like that your guest the other day was talking about it, the Jess Cunningham.
Yeah.
Yeah, about those unconscious thoughts, those subconscious thoughts, right? That and they really run your life, like.
Yeah, she went to public school. She doesn't sound posh at all. I was like,
She's got a cool accent.
wasted your money, man. Why you get a voice?
Yeah.
She got a good accent. Burnley.
Yeah.
So so public school, being a kid, basically leaving home at 11.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, and I asked to board.
Yeah.
And like there was loads of amazing things about it, but definitely you learn off your peers. I guess your parents can't keep an eye on you as much and stuff, you know. So then there's,
so it'll become a bit of a free for all in a way.
Yeah, and really at that age, like when you're a teenager, you want to be with your friends all the time.
Yeah.
Like you don't really want to be with your parents. So like so many amazing memories of just hanging out with your friends all the time and sleeping in the dorm. Like, you know, when we were 13, I think we had like 7 or something in a dorm, and you're in like hysterics, having the best time and stuff. So. Yeah.
How come, like, obviously, like, you're at a mixed boarding public school, how do more people not become pregnant at them? Because obviously I'm from a council estate and everyone's, like, gets pregnant at, like, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
And they're not, like, sleeping over in the same building?
Well, we're not. You're separated.
Okay.
And there's, like, cameras everywhere and there's, like, people on duty and stuff. So although maybe you sometimes can sneak into the other house or something, generally you're like kept separate and there's not so much opportunity for that.
Okay.
But I guess they put most girls on the pill when they're like 14, 15.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's quite a common thing in boarding school.
Yeah. So do you think they should do that at more kind of like common schools?
No.
I don't know. Leave that up to the powers that be.
But it's like, just giving someone something that kind of, stops their natural flow of the cycle and stuff at a young age probably isn't always the best thing,
Yeah. But apparently for your body, it's the best to have kids when you're young anyway.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Because obviously the more...
Don't know if it's best for the kids always, but...
Fuck no.
Your body bounces back better. And that's
your body bounces back better, yeah. It's like kids having kids, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I
can't imagine actually how...
Yeah. How old was you when you had your son?
I was... 34.
34. Oh, yeah. That's quite... But that's normal for people that went... For all my friends that went to uni, that's normal. For my friends that I grew up with, that's late.
Yeah.
Because I remember someone saying to me at my football club when I was 24, God, you're leaving it a bit late, aren't you? I'm like, what? He's like, having kids? You should have had some kids by now.
Yeah.
I'm like, should I? It's like...
No, totally. Like most of the mums...
where I'm from.
Yeah, most of the mums at my school, they're all about my age,
Yeah.
Or some of them older, yeah.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Is it just because there's like a more of an expectation to go to uni, to have a career, to...
Yeah, I think it would be looked down on potentially, in some ways.
Yeah.
That if you were to get pregnant young, and maybe they want to focus on their career, or there's more kind of drive to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not an expert on that, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's not my area of expertise.
So, anyway, back to your story.
Back to my story.
Smoking weed, 20 years old. What happened before that then to sort of... You was in this relationship, that broke down, and then you had this kind of crisis, or...
Really getting into everything here. Yeah, I don't know. I think leaving school was quite hard, and then feeling a bit lost and stuff. I remember being super sensitive when I was a teenager, and then getting into a not great relationship.
Was he a politician?
Do you know what as well? I did a lot of school. So I was like in all the sports teams, like first teams, played the piano, violin, singing, then I played the drum kit, did music A-level. So I feel like there's quite a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. And it was quite intense. And I feel like maybe I fought that a little bit after school as well. I just wanted to like let loose and just while other people were like hungover on a Sunday morning, like, messing around, I was in church singing in the choir, or every lunch break I was going and doing orchestra or string quartet.
Because you wanted to, not because you enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. I did. I mean, I'm so grateful now because my mum was always there, like supporting me and, driving me to my piano lessons and all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate like how supportive and amazing she was. Mm-hmm. But doing all that stuff, it's a lot, Yeah.
And
it's a lot of pressure and expectation. And
but what was you driving towards at that age? What did you kind of like want to be?
I have no idea.
You didn't like. What did your parents have a plan for you, or path for you? Or?
Oh, my mum. I mean, she would have wanted me to be like a dressage rider. That was what she asked me once, and I was
dressage rider.
Yeah.
What's one of them?
The horses that kind of do the dance and stuff.
They don't jump over stuff. They do a dance.
No, that would be jumping. Yeah.
Okay. So he's kind of like one of them Indian guys who has a bear on a string.
Have you not seen them when they do? And they do like little things with their legs and stuff.
It's fucking weird as fuck, man.
Yeah, she wouldn't. I mean, she loves it.
Yeah,
she loves horses.
Yeah. But for a person like me, that's just weird shit that like posh people do. It's like polo and like it's like.
Have you ever played polo?
Do I look like? Do I sound like I've ever had a fucking horse?
Polo is really fucking hard. It's really fucking difficult.
Bleep her out.
Oh, I'm so happy. I feel like liberated now that I can actually swear.
I'm gonna just swear from now in a posh accent. Fuck. Fucking hell. Polo's good, is it?
And no, it's hard. It's really hard. Yeah. Really hard.
But
again,
dressage.
I'm no expert. Yeah, dressage. So that's what she would want me to do.
Where's the career in dressage?
I studied Russian at uni, but then when I was in Russia, I was thinking, probably don't want to work with Russians. I probably don't want to work in Russia.
Why?
It was an amazing experience, but it was hardcore,
What was you doing over there?
So I studied Russian at UCL, so I had a year out. So I spent a year living there in St. Petersburg and in Moscow. And I also went to Kazan in Tatarstan for a while as well.
Tajikistan?
Tatarstan.
Tatarstan? Is that a country?
It's a place in Russia. I think it's like such a big country, right? You've got
huge, man.
So many different types of people in Russia. It's such a variation.
Like Chinese Russians, Mongolian Russians,
totally.
European Russians. But so what was what would it called? Tatarstan. Tatarstan. What was that like?
It was quite hard work actually, because everyone was staring at us all the time, and
because you was blonde and
I don't know. I guess because we just, even in St. Petersburg they were. I mean, it's quite a long time ago now.
Yeah.
So I guess it was the way we dressed. We would wear like jeans and torn jeans and, I don't know, leg warmers and weird stuff like that. And out there they kind of, they didn't appreciate it much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was you doing there? Just
studying Russian. I was at a state university there, yeah.
Okay. And you didn't fancy staying there?
No.
So then what happened? What was the next path?
So then, I guess that's while I was at uni that kind of, it was like a crisis, like a healing crisis you go through. Like, was it the dark night of the soul? That's what it felt like. And do you know what
20,
it was?
That young?
Yeah. Okay. That's why I feel like I started the conscious path really early, which is why I feel like I know so much shit now, right? Because I've done so many things. And so I feel like that was my shift. I guess it changed my trajectory, didn't it? Right. So I was kind of going down there, nothing really that bad, but I wasn't feeling great. And then it kind of culminated a night where.
What led to you not feeling great? Like just the relationship, or what was the things that were happening that were like causing this dark night of the soul, this crisis?
I don't know. I guess it was the relationship. Mm-hmm. And then being chucked out of uni, so feeling like shit, is my life a failure? Like, what am I doing? And then, funny you mentioned Fabric, but I went to Fabric one night and took half an ecstasy tablet.
When was this? I probably sold it you.
Wait, well, then we need to have a chat. So I felt like I was reasonably sensible at the time. I thought I was pretty, at that age, you think you're pretty invincible. And, wow, this is really personal stuff, do you know what I mean? But I guess that's the point, right?
You're not forced to share anything you don't want to share.
No, I want to, because it's important. It's like, it's really like how I got to where I am now. So, and I felt really lost. I felt in a really bad place. And I went to Fabric that night and I had a really bad, went home, went to sleep, woke up in the night. And I felt like what was happening, what I've heard from other people was like that I didn't feel good. And I'd heard like stories even in school that some parents came and gave us a talk.
Parents gave you a talk about ecstasy?
Yeah.
Had they ever taken it? If you want to start your cacao journey today, head over to www.fullpowercacao.com. And to get 11% off your first order, use the code FULLPOWER2012 at checkout and start to feel that full power vibration today. Now, back to the podcast. Enjoy.
No, their daughter had died from it. Yeah.
Well, probably died from dehydration.
That's what they say. But for example, I wasn't dehydrated and I was having like, I guess, a similar reaction of how they described and stuff. And I was on the floor, I remember in the bathroom, and I was, I was having like a kind of like a fit, I guess, really like having a really bad reaction to it. And then obviously, and the boyfriend at the time didn't want his parents to see me, so didn't take me to hospital or anything. Woke up the next day and I felt like I was in a really, really bad place. I was having panic attacks all the time. I felt like I was kind of like deep in this hole. It was really, a really dark time for me. And I remember thinking at that time, I went to see the doctor and he gave me some, I think it was Valium, diazepam, something like that. And I went home and I took half of one, and I feel like it was like a real crossroads, I was like, am I going to go down here? Because I didn't really feel like it had any joy left at the time, I felt so disconnected from everything. Yeah. And then
But why? Why did you feel so disconnected?
Because I guess from that experience, it did something really, I was kind of okay before. I wasn't taking care of myself that well, but that after that night, whatever happened to me.
Specifically from that, taking that pill.
It like shifted, it changed everything. I felt ill all the time, panic attacks every day. Like I felt I was just about to die. Like it was pretty intense. And I just remember taking that and then thinking, right, you've got a choice here, right? Like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? And that's where I just went like full on trying everything else. I was like, whatever the fuck it takes, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get better, to get in a good place, to get through this. And that's, I guess, where the journey started of being like, of being more aware of like, went out and tried everything, like Reiki, craniosacral therapy. I tried all sorts of different energy things. That's where it all started. And I've kind of been on there ever since, like, going through tried counseling, psychotherapy. And I think what happened on the journey was I realized, I'd go to psychotherapy or go to counseling, and it was amazing to talk and stuff. But I was like, I feel like I'm not really like shifting some stuff, or I'm not really connecting to my body, right? Or when I realize something amazing in psychotherapy, like, you know, this is what causes this, I don't do anything about it. I don't go away and take action on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if I have a life coach, it's like amazing and I'm working through stuff and I'm reaching goals. But if trauma comes up, like, again, I'm not really dealing with the, you know, the subconscious and those kind of past experiences, trauma that's running my life. So what I did is I trained with all these different things. I did my yoga teacher training, Reiki training, EFT, my life coaching, psychotherapeutic counselling. I've now done the Soma Breathwork, amazing Cacao Facilitator course with you, of course. That must have been the best one. And and then what I do is I put it all together so that we can deal with all that stuff, right? So if you come to me, we can deal with the past experiences. We can work with the amygdala, the fight or flight, actually work with your bodies like in a somatic way, release those things. And then we can work with your current thoughts that are, you know, running your life and creating your feelings and, the inner critic, all that kind of stuff. And then we can also look forward, like when you realize something amazing, when you go away, like what are you going to do about it? What action are you going to take? So it's, and I feel like, so that was my thing of like going through all that and like feeling the incredible like shift and also the amazing things that are out there. That's what I want everyone to know, you know, when I speak to people as like, I think as someone like I've been like helping over the last year and, you know, he was, I guess, watching TV every night, drinking beer, eating shit, really high dose of antidepressants that he was put on when he was young. And he didn't really know like there was any other options, you know? That there was other things that he could do that would really like get him out of that place. You know, he's like constantly self-medicating. He's on high blood pressure medication, all this stuff, like really struggling. And just knowing that like, if you start to feel your feelings, you start to take those things away and you be with that discomfort, you know, you process that, you maybe tap through or go through some of those past experiences that are creating this discomfort that you've got now. Like in your childhood, he was told, no one wants to see that, go to your room, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like you're kind of setting up this thing of like it's not safe to like express my feelings or to cry, and then just helping him to go through the past stuff, to think about, you know, processing the feelings, feeling the feelings, like what do you really want, embodying yourself, all the great masculine stuff that, you know, there's all these amazing men teaching at the moment.
Thank you.
I wasn't referring to you, but I'm sure. Yeah.
So that was your healing journey, was basically just trying everything and anything and everything and what was the things that resonated the most with you? What things didn't resonate with you?
Do you know, pretty much everything resonated apart from this one energy pulling weird thing that someone did. So I feel like everything was truly like amazing. Yeah, for me, it is the combination, you know.
And when did you feel like you had like a breakthrough within your healing, and what was like sort of light bulb moments, pivotal moments within that healing journey where you was like, fuck, like, Jesus, man, if I'd known that a few years ago, I would have broke through a lot quicker?
I guess there's that like that bigger picture, smaller picture thing. So there's like appreciating that we have this ego, right? This that feels certain things and stuff. So I always work with that as well with the clients, right? It's like in that moment, like my boss was nasty to me, right? Oh, and I'm pissed off and that's not really fair and right? Like be with that, be sad if you want, be angry. And then it's like, but what's the bigger picture here, you know? And I think I probably missed that earlier on, is like, if life is happening for you, like what are the possibilities in this situation right now? Like what is your boss, if you asked your boss to come into your life before you were born to teach you something in that moment in your life, you know, what is it that you asked him to come in and teach you?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's times where maybe I missed that, or I was really in the, you know, really in the ego situation and not observing myself and seeing what was going on and looking at what were the opportunity or possibilities. And also yoga teacher training, right, which you probably, I don't know if you had the same experience. It blew my mind. I went to Thailand, you know, thinking you're going to do some yoga. And I had to leave the room sometimes because I couldn't breathe when she was talking. Because she was telling me things like all the stuff that I knew that felt like real and important isn't anymore, you know? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, like even like the attachment and the expectation, all this stuff I thought, and she was like, no, this is all bullshit. But but then everything is that, and it also isn't, and it's also black and it's also white, and everything that you're, you know, experiencing this life is through your human brain. But spirituality is bigger than that, so that's only stuff that you can really feel. You know, like and also then like that we're all cool, whatever, right? If you eat McDonald's and you watch TV and you do all that, whatever you want to do, like I'm no better than you because I do yoga. And she's like, as soon as you start looking at other people and thinking you're better because you do that, you're losing the whole point of yoga, right? So, yoga, that was like, blew my mind. I remember like walking across the rocks at like 4 o'clock in the morning with the waves crashing on this like crystal island to this, you know, to go and meditate for like 3 hours and stuff. And yeah, it just really like changed my whole life, like listening to her. That was amazing. And I think that's as well, right? Like you're saying, if I can help people, or we can, or, you know, if one can help people shorten that journey or have less suffering, that's like an amazing thing to do, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. What we do is like, can go and like be stuck in your drama for 3 years and like I've got to go through this slowly and you know, I'm not ready for that bit yet, or you can just fucking do it today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And stop being just like speed the process up, man, if you want something. Because at the end of the day, you could be dead tomorrow, and then you go to God and you're like, oh, God's like, why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
You had the opportunity yesterday.
I said that in my last cacao ceremony because you said it yours and then I said it mine. I was like, look, we're all here. You've all asked for turbo healing today because we're all busy mums, right? We're doing this beautiful women's circle. And it's like, so you're going to wait till like the New Year's resolutions, or you can, you know, get rid of it now and sort it out, right? Because that's what I say that all the time as well. We're going to be dead soon, right? Yeah. And time goes so quickly.
Yeah, so get it sorted ASAP.
I think of that a lot, actually. You're saying about living in bliss. I think of that a lot. Yeah. Like, how do I be in bliss through this, you know? Like the really tough things.
Yeah. And that's the biggest challenge. It's like, how can I stay in that bliss when there's like craziness going on all around me? But that's the whole the yogic journey really, is like to know that we are always responsible for our inner habitat.
Yeah.
And nothing exterior, nothing on the outside is responsible for that. It's like our responsibility to keep our energy how we want it to be. And if we're not in bliss, it's some sort of illusion or something that we've attached to out there, because the pure essence of us is bliss. Yeah, you're going to feel different energies every day, but it's like, is my contentment dependent on exterior motives? Like, I'm going to be content and happy until my mum gets ill. Yeah. I'm going to be content and happy until someone steals my bin. I'm going to get content and happy until I have to take my car into the garage. I'm going to be content and happy until I get a driving ticket. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you're at the mercy of other events then. And it's like you're in control. Totally. And that's what, when you know, people in ceremony and you tell them they've always had a choice, and then they leave, like a 58-year-old woman leaves and go, oh my God, like, nobody's ever told me that I've had a choice. Yeah. Everything that I've ever done in my life has been my choice. Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's 1,000. We just charge 1,000 for that.
Here's my transfer details.
So how many courses have you done? How much does it cost you? Yeah, just 1,000.
That's gold. That's going to change your whole life. It's worth a lot.
There's certain things that I've gone through in life and awakenings that I've had, and I'm like, I would have paid thousands for that. Like, oh my God, you know, the things that we do and we spend money on and try and heal ourselves, find ourselves, experiences, and then you have something, and sometimes it's usually like something that's free, and you're like, wow, man, that's like changed my life, changed my philosophy, changed my outlook on everything, and that's like priceless.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that if you're the mercy, if you're relying on the outside things, like that's going to be a fucking roller coaster, right? That you never know what's going to happen, or if that's going to, you know. So I guess that's as well when working with people, it's like you work on the outer world. Like, of course, it's nice to have money, right? Like, why not make your environment incredible? Why not have like loads of abundance and have like freedom of choice? And why not, you know, change your jobs so you don't have to deal with the boss and stuff? But at the same time, you're always working on that inner world, right? Which is impacting your experience. Your job
because of the boss, then there's only going to be another boss exactly the same in your new place.
There'll be the next thing for that, you know.
Well, exactly. So how did you stop how did you get over the boss that was shouting at you? What was the shift? Because the boss is only going to shout at you until you accept being shouted at.
Yeah, so that just makes me think of a specific client who's in that situation. So, but that's what I mean.
Is that Sarah from Basingstoke?
Yeah.
We won't mention her name.
Oh, that reminds me. It's so funny. When I was doing it with my son, he was like thinking of. We were always doing it for. Where was it? Barry from Bigglesworth and someone else every day. We didn't know who they were, but yeah.
It's good to make up people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sarah
from Basingstoke.
Yeah,
she lives in a semi.
I don't think I've got any clients.
Have you ever been in a semi-detached house? Have you?
I've lived in Russia in halls there.
But have you been in a semi-detached house?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have. Okay. I just like asking posh people that.
Do you?
Yeah. What about a terrace?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been in a council house?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, a really small one.
A really small council house? Oh, right.
Council flat, actually.
Was it a really small council house, or was it just like a small council house compared to the castle that you grew up in?
No, it was a council flat.
A council flat? Okay. In like a big block of flats?
Yeah.
How was it?
Do you think that matters of how happy you are, how big your house is?
No. But it's always better to have more space sometimes. But then sometimes live in micro houses. And actually, when I lived in a council house, I was my most free. And
that's when I had just a room, right, and no house.
Yeah.
Small amount of things, easy to keep tidy, not too much responsibility.
Yeah, it's like now I've got like 4 acres, and it's like you never stop mowing grass, man. It's like, fuck me. Yeah. It's like when I had a triangle of grass in the back garden, it's like, done.
It's only going to get worse as you get your multiple houses around the world.
It's Monopoly, man. But it's like, I was pretty good at Monopoly.
And I've seen that, that's what I learned as well early, is that, of course, money is amazing. It's truly amazing, gives you so much. And I feel like we should, it's like a spiritual path almost, right? To welcome that abundance. And again, I heard you talking about that the other day. And also there's amazing people talking about it. Like Brooke Castillo was talking about from the life coach school about, you can earn 100 grand, right? Mm-hmm. And you can do okay stuff with that, right? You could touch people, you can be a great person as you move around. But she's aiming to earn 100 million, working like 3 days a week. I think she was earning 17 and then she must be close to 100 now. She's like, I think what you can do then. Think of the impact you can have with that money. How many people can you help? Lives change, that's like... Yeah.
How many charities can you invest in? How much philanthropic is it? What is it?
Philanthropy.
How much philanthropy can you do?
Yeah.
Or good shit, we call it.
Or like
where
the
we're
coral.
from.
Have you seen those people on Instagram that like are building the coral?
Oh right, I thought you meant the band from Liverpool, the Coral. I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
I don't know. They may be doing something amazing, but I don't know.
What are they doing? Building coral?
Yeah, so they like take a bit of coral and then they put it in these like nurseries and then they grow it and then and then they put it back and they make it more hardy. So even if the temperature goes up, like how cool to put your money and like support stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Like we're getting to support loads of epic charities now with what we're doing. Amazing. And like more and more and invest more and more in them, which is really beautiful position to be in. However, like a lot of people, what you have to understand is when you get more money, there's more issues, there's more things you have to deal with, there's more people you're like employing, and which is great because you're like giving people money to feed their kids, to go on holidays, to do all this stuff. But then it's like it is a lot to do because people think, oh, it'd be great to be rich, but then it's like actually with that comes a lot of responsibility as well. So you kind of have to be ready with, because I keep going on about like sometimes when my business has become overwhelming in the last year, because it was never overwhelming before that. It was just me or me and someone else, like, and it's so much to manage now. And sometimes I just go, when I was cycling around on my bike writing poetry in cafes, like I didn't have anything to worry about. I just had
be careful what you wish for, eh?
Yeah, but then I wasn't happy when I was writing poetry because most of the poetry is really sad. Do you know what I mean? But I was just in coffee shops and I could spend a whole day in a coffee shop. It's like I couldn't tell you the last time I was in a coffee shop for more than half an hour. Do you know what I mean? And I'd meet people writing poetry and have these little conversations and these little interactions and which was interesting. And when you're traveling, man, like when you're traveling, you meet, like you're open to meet people because you've not got a schedule. So when you travel, you meet lots of people, loads of opportunities present themselves. When you're in your normal day-to-day shit, you're not open to meeting people because you've got somewhere to go. You can't just go, what's the universe got to offer me today?
Yeah, there's not that much flexibility, right? You're not going to go with the flow as much, right? I guess if you're
totally.
constantly.
Totally. And then things just happen when you're traveling, which are beautiful. But then, I wouldn't change what I've got going on at the moment for the world, because it's amazing, and what we're creating is amazing, and it feels like it's the mission, even though it is sometimes overwhelming.
Yeah.
And at points last year, I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. Well, then you break through that and you find ways to get to the other side of it, and you're like, oh wow, it is pretty beautiful.
Well, that's you, I guess. But that's you breaking through your discomfort, right? As you're keep on leveling up and you're taking on more and stuff. And then the challenge, I guess, of then how do I manage that? How do I, with all this stuff going on, how do I still?
Yeah. And how do I step into more abundance, like you were saying about your friend? And it's like, for being from poverty, there's a lot of blocks, and you have to shift the blocks. Sure. Whereas like my friends who have grown up in wealth, they don't have them same blocks, because
I don't know if that's true though, right? Because other people have different blocks, so it's like
I guess so.
So much expectation on you, right? Like I have friends who didn't go to good schools, and they're absolutely killing it now because they knew they were totally on themselves. They had no expectation, Like my dad did really badly at school, so there was no expectation for him to do well, and he,
he did well,
and he did really well.
Yeah, it's all up and down. But what I'm saying is, like, for my friends who I know that are rich, for them to like have a certain thing, or to because they've seen it and they've been around it. Like for the people that I grew up with, we'd never seen that or been around it, so it was something that was like, it was almost like a dream, or it wasn't real because we'd never seen it. Whereas for people who've been around it, it's like, oh, I can get that. Where for us, it was like, you can't have that.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so like to then break down those blockages and those barriers, to like know that actually, like you said, your friend was saying 70 million, 100 million, all the beautiful things that you can do with, like, it doesn't matter how much money you've got, like you can do amazing things with this wealth. A lot of people who start earning 70 grand, 100 grand, which is kind of seen as like a decent wage, they're not rich. Most of them will live to that means. They will increase their spending based on that level of wage. So then actually in some ways no better off in terms of time. They got more cards, more like go to a better gym, go to a health club, get this, spend this, get this on credit, bang, bang, bang. And they're actually got no extra disposable income, get a higher mortgage. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's like, it's rich, like abundance and wealth for me is like to be rich outside of your salary and outside of and with your prosperity, with your abundance, with your different streams of revenue. Most people, there's not really anybody who has a full-time job that is rich, because you only get rich by owning your own business, being an entrepreneur, creating something that other people want, creating a service. Yeah. And that's not usually working for somebody. But that's not what everyone asks. Some people are there to support people making their dreams happen, and they get something out of that. Yeah,
I mean, if they have a job that they really love and that feels aligned with them and stuff, and maybe they don't want the responsibility and stuff, I think.
Because it is intense.
Yeah, relying on yourself.
So you are now, I was going to say you're now unemployed. Are you unemployed? I
am, I mean, kind of.
Yeah, so you're self-employed.
I used to love that straight after uni, telling everyone that what you're doing, just unemployed at the moment.
Unemployed at the moment, yeah, sign on.
Yeah.
So what are you at the moment? What do you offer?
What do I offer?
What's Raylah offering?
So I guess, I mean, that's a really good question, right? Because I guess I'm a coach.
Yeah.
And then what I do is it's called the upgrade. So I guess you're upgrading everything, right? You're getting rid of those old stories, those old patterns, shifting the trauma, like working on your thoughts. Like it's a kind of a whole transformation.
Right.
And I do that one-on-one online. I do that in groups online. And then obviously I do my cacao ceremonies, which is my in-person stuff as well.
So you're actually doing cacao ceremonies now?
I am.
And do you incorporate any of your other modalities into those ceremonies?
Oh, I do. That's when I came on your training and I was like, I don't think this is necessarily, I wanted to be in your guys' energy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that was amazing. Mm-hmm. And I really respect you. I remember seeing it at Stone Cold Sober and thinking like, wow, when you guys were on stage, it was just amazing. Like the opening ceremony was so, so powerful and so incredible. And the space was held so well. You cleansed everything really. I just... it's really nice to be held properly. Like you really feel that. I feel really strongly about that being done well.
So how did you first end up at the Stone Cold Sober Festival?
I just started getting into Love Jam and all those sober festivals and stuff. Like, amazing to go 3 days of just like breathwork and I don't know, sober raving and all the stuff that I love, And then, Stone Cold Sober was the first one I went on my own, actually. Okay. I just thought, like, sod it, I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm. Did you make any friends?
I did. Made friends with Josh.
Yeah.
And a few other people. And became friends with Louise and all those guys. Mm-hmm. And so just decided to go. Got a tent, came along. Really, really enjoyed it. Saw you on Dragon's Den. I just thought I really like your energy, and I think I was feeling your energy even before I got to know you, because I remember someone was saying stuff about you on Instagram.
Good stuff.
Bad stuff.
No, it's all good because actually they brought loads of attention to me.
It's all attention.
They got me loads of attention, man.
And
thank you, haters. Hater number one, hater number two, hater
like
number
you
three.
said, if they didn't
love me,
they wouldn't give you any time
attention.
At all.
Hate and love are pretty much the same thing.
I was just thinking like that, I feel like you are like really strong in your ethics, really strong in your boundaries and all that kind of stuff. So, and then came on the Cacao Facilitator course. And then I realized I was like, oh my God, this is like, when you were talking, I was like, yes. All of this stuff all my training that I've done totally lends to running cacao ceremonies, like, the breath work. And I did even tapping in one of them recently, like the EFT, which is like so amazing to work with. Like the subconscious and clear stuff that you can't clear through talking, or you feel like you can't quite get to, or they do a bit of shamanic journeying. So I did a diet with Bob and Sana, an amazing plant recently, and worked with a shaman for a while from Camden.
Shaman from Camden.
Yeah, she lived there for 25 years.
Camden
so she's
Carol,
like,
is it?
No, Nancy. Camden Nancy. But she lived there for 25 years, so she really knows her.
In Camden?
No, in Peru.
Oh, right. She lived in Camden for 25 years.
No,
she really knows her stuff, man.
No, she lived in Peru for 25 years and married a shaman out there, so she really knows her stuff.
Okay.
So she, did a lot of stuff with her, like the drumming and shamanic journeying and all that kind of stuff, so bring that in as well.
So you've got all the skills for a cacao ceremony.
I do. That's when I was watching and I was like, I can do that. And even when all the stuff you're talking about, like, I don't know, the music bits, I love chanting. I've been listening to chanting for years.
Yeah. Was it nice meeting Antama before then?
Yeah.
He's like the master chanter.
Yeah, he is. The master chanter.
You know a better chanter?
No.
Good.
I don't. He's amazing, right? Like truly amazing.
Next
I think.
Level, yeah.
Yeah, next level. So I feel like that's, when I was there, I was like, oh yeah.
So what was the moment like when you obviously booked on the cacao training? What was it like? What was the thing where it's like, I'm going to do that? Why?
I guess you feel like with again, another thing that I feel really strongly about is people like aligning with who they truly are. So when you talk to people, a lot of my clients have been like following what their parents wanted, what society has told them, or the kind of like, they don't really know like what do you truly want, right? Like your deepest desire. Like when you talk to me, if I hear resonance in the air, like you're really passionate and you're really feeling something, then I know that's like, we're like, yeah, we got it. Or they're like, oh, I kind of like want to do this and I think I'm pretty good at it. And you're like, nah, that's not it. Or so, and then there's like, do you know, if I did that, I would feel like I won $1 billion. And you're like,
there we go.
Amazing. There we go.
That's your thing.
We're on it. Yeah. So, so I think that alignment, I feel like really, really strongly about like, what do you truly want? Like going with your intuition, trusting your gut, like what feels right. So I think for me, it was like, it just wasn't even a question. I saw you, felt the energy, felt like it was the next thing for me. I'd heard about you from Josh and stuff as well. So yeah, it just wasn't even a question. I just felt, it's like, I think that's the thing, quietening down your mind, checking in with your body, like with your intuition, like what does this feel like? And like, fuck yes, this is, I'm going to go do it.
And it was like, I want to do cacao ceremonies, I want to offer this and I want to hold them and give people that
holding space is one of my most favourite things in the world. And this is what I realised is going through that dark time, right? I mean, it felt like a really, really, really dark time in my 20s. I was like, but why did I have to go, why did I have to go through something so deep and dark and feel all that stuff? And I was like, because I can hold anything. Now when people come to me, you can come to the ceremony, you can bring whatever you want. You can bring the deepest, darkest stuff, the deepest shit that, my clients can bring, they do, from really hard stuff from childhood, really deep, painful things. And I'm really happy to hold it. I'll hold it for you, hold the space for you, feel passionate about that, doing it well, opening, closing properly, respect, bringing in all the, like the powers or the energies to support us, the grounding, connecting, that's really important. The cleansing, you know, just like keeping the space clear and stuff. So, yeah. So I went with my intuition, booked it, got there, and I thought it was going to be in Manchester. And they're like, no, you've got to come to Wales, in the fucking middle of nowhere. But then I got there and I was like, this couldn't be better, right?
Yeah, we've never done
It's
a cacao
so
training
beautiful.
in Manchester.
Have you
People
not?
are saying, when are you going to do one here? I'm like, leave me alone.
It wouldn't be
People
the
have flown
same.
from America
It
to
wouldn't
do
be
our
the same.
training. Like, so
Really?
People come from America, Europe. So it's like when someone who's in Sheffield says, can you do a training near Sheffield? I'm like, no.
No.
Get in your fucking car or your train or whatever.
Yeah.
You like.
And also it was so nice,
If
like
you
doing
want
it.
it, like, come and get it.
Yeah, make the effort.
I'd go anywhere in the world if something was calling me.
That's
do you know
really
what I mean?
your energy, isn't it, as well? I feel like you give that out. It's like if you really want to do it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, come to Sheffield so you can wipe my arse for me. It's like, no, wipe your own arse. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And that's the thing that I think on the trainings as well. It's like some people, like my thing is just like, don't want you to fail. It's like, I have this kind of like, I want everyone to succeed as much as possible. And sometimes that's pushing them beyond what they think they're capable of.
Yeah, I feel... Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I feel about cacao, because lots of people talk about like it's very calming and relaxing and very loving. That hasn't been my experience of cacao.
Because you've been drinking full power. Full power.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, right?
Yeah,
On
man.
it's
It's
like
an affirmation within it, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's like the fourth
The
night or
energy.
something on the course. I was lying in bed and I'm like, what's going on with me? You know, like every time I'm closing my eyes, I'm seeing all these crazy faces and stuff going on and different animals and things. And I feel like cacao for me has been a teacher. And lots of people think, oh, well, it's just like nice and easy and loving. But actually, I think what she does sometimes is she really pushes you out your comfort zone and she really brings up those things that I feel like plant medicine does that, those things you most fear, like the biggest blocks. So that night, firstly, it's like, oh my God, I've just drunk too much cacao, and I'm physically the small ego me, like, you know, what's going on? And then being like, why the fuck is this happening? You know, what's the bigger picture here? Like, what is it? Are you making me face something that I've been scared of?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So what was it?
probably a bit of the fear of death and a bit of fear of judgment as well, I guess, of like wanting to do a good job.
You still got your fear of death? Can I have it?
Not really. I know. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks. There you
I
go.
thought of you when I was on the plane. How you were like, when
Did
the
you
plane's
crash?
no, when the plane's
Oh.
crashing, you're going to stand up and be like,
No, I'm going to meditate.
Oh,
I'm
you're
going to
gonna
sit and meditate while the plane's crashing. Yeah. So what's your relationship with cacao then? Like, what's the?
I guess that she's like quite a hardcore teacher for me, right?
Yeah.
In a good way, that she's like stretches me and face things. And I went to talk to Paulina afterwards, you know, and then she just helped me because she was saying about some stuff about the guides and spirits and all that kind of thing.
Voice activation, wasn't it as well?
Yeah, the voice activation.
How's that going for you?
Yeah, good. I mean, I've started singing a little bit in my ceremonies, and I joined the local choir.
Okay.
Although it's not like free singing.
It's not really singing.
Not channeling stuff. No, it's more
Okay.
like kind of more like Baroque, late Baroque, classical kind of.
I'm in my counsellor state. What the
Very
fuck's Baroque?
old
What's Baroque?
choral church music, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I know that?
No,
Okay.
I'm just explaining what it is. You might know. I don't know. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's like it sounds like angels. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, wow.
But it's like religious
Okay.
choral music. Yeah.
Oh, I probably
So-
like that then.
Yeah.
Shavasana kind of music.
Uh,
Like, could you meditate to it?
Maybe. I mean, it's probably a little bit energetic. It depends which part of it. Maybe. You know, it's kind of like it's chant. I mean, a lot of it's kind of chanting stuff and
Yeah.
oh yeah, stretch.
Baroque. I'm gonna add it to my vocabulary. Baroque.
So I feel like I've been going down that. I think about like, do you know, she's amazing as well, Paulina. Like, you're great, but Paulina, she is truly amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever in my whole life met anyone with her energy like hers. It's like pure white light is the only way I can think to describe it. She's just, it's just amazing. It's like so pure. That's what it comes across as, you know, with her. Like, not only is she like a nice, kind, sweet, supportive, amazing person, but like energetically, she's just quite incredible.
Yeah, I've not met anyone else like her on the planet yet, so far. And as soon as I met her, it was like that. I was like,
Really?
what? Like, yeah. Like, not, I just loved her. It was love at first sight, but not in like a, to be with, because I was in another relationship, but it was just like, I knew this person is family, and like, I love them. And I was telling my friends, I was like, actually, why do I love that woman?
Yeah.
And they were like, she's pretty special. And I was like, but I actually love her. I've only like met her twice. And they were like, I don't know. I was like, okay. And then everyone just kind of became friends and all that sort of stuff.
Do you think that was like you were feeling into her energy? That was what you were loving or something? Or
yeah,
because you didn't know her as a person then,
no,
right? Like you.
But you just, yeah, it was just the energy and just like little things that she said. Because she come to my ceremony, she come to my yoga classes, and it was just like, fuck. And all I wanted to do was like go to a house and just be in a house, not like anything like physical. I just wanted to be in her energy. So I would like, people would come to my house. I was like, should we go Paulina's? And then we'd drive to Paulina's and like, hi, we're here for a cup of tea. Oh, okay. And obviously she's like a mum and she's got mum shit to do.
Yeah.
But she's always like have people in, and so yeah, it was similar really, just to meet somebody where you were like, wow, you're kind of like another level to anyone else that I know in terms of like connection to spirit.
And really understated as well, right? Like in terms of like, you know, you can put all the spiritual on the outside, can't you? Like I'm a super...
Yeah,
you see that a lot.
You wouldn't
the super
know
spiritual,
why.
you know, wearing all the stuff, you know, which is great to wear the stuff because we're physical beings. It's nice, I feel like, to have that. Like cacao, right?
Yeah.
You could do it all without the physical thing in a way, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But we are physical beings, and I think it's nice to have that. But with her, she's just... Yeah, she's just cool with it, you know? She doesn't need to tell everybody or...
No.
Show it off or anything.
Understated, but I'm trying to get her to be more peacocky.
But she doesn't need to be, because you can do that. You can do that bit, and then she can just.
Yeah. But for
Unless
certain things like doing her videos and actually being of even higher service to getting her stuff out there to more people, for more people to know her, to be like I've always said, like Paulina's going to be 10 times more famous than me by the time that I've died, because she's got some energy that like I've never met anybody else with that purity of energy that she's got, which is pretty, I don't know, it's crazy. Like she just does little things and I'm like, you're so cute and pure, do you know what I mean? Like just about the animals and the trees and like feeding the squirrels and like we need to do this, and I'm like, who the fuck says that sort of shit, man? Do you know what I mean? And it's like it's super beautiful. But thanks for basically saying I'm shit and she's amazing.
You're great. You're great. She's great,
but she's great.
She's just a little bit better.
I agree.
She's just a little bit better.
Loads of people say it all the time, and it's like, you're great, like, but Paulina's better. I'm like, yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah.
That's good. But we complement each other very well.
You do.
Neither of us would be doing things to the level that we're doing them now if it wasn't for each other.
That is amazing. You can support each other, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Good?
Yeah, good.
Full power?
Full power.
Hariram. So what was the most pivotal thing you got from the training?
Oh my God, so many things I don't even know. Well, firstly, can I say lots of things?
Yeah, crack on.
The fact that I really struggle with things that feel a little bit disingenuous, that feel a little bit kind of like I can't properly relax, right, or get into. Mm-hmm. And I just really enjoyed the fact, and some people are just positive all the time, right? Just riding on that and that's great. But I feel like I want to be really authentic, and I feel like with you, with the way that you joke and the way that you swear a lot, that it kind of lends to the situation being much more authentic, which I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I love being in the countryside. That was just beautiful. That made it extra special. That portal that you've created there is just something quite amazing. Like when me and Louise left, I love Louise, right? She's like the epitome of the wild woman for me. You know, when I'm really woman running with the wolves, like that's who I think of. Like she's just something about her that's so earthy and incredible. And we left and we were in the car, and it was hard to be a human coming from the portal, because we'd been in there, fully in there with Cacao in that powerful space. It's like, I've got to go in there and put petrol in the car and talk to that human.
When you go into Tesco's, like after the Stone Cold Sobers Festival, I go into Tesco, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like,
I know.
Oh, I'm on a vomit.
Yeah, I walked in there with like bare foot, you know, I don't know what the hell I was wearing, covered in mud probably. And I'm like, she's looking at me and is like, what did I just say? Like, she's looking at me like I'm weird. Like, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Because you're like in such a different zone. Like so I think the power of the place was incredible. And yeah, you guys give me good feedback. It's like, please let them like me. Please let them give me good feedback. I really don't care it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of me. I really don't care what they think of me, but please give me good feedback. And then they give you, and then you're like, oh shit, they're going to give me good feedback. And then if they give me good feedback, that means I got to do stuff. Yeah, I guess you have the doubts, right? It's like when you stretch yourself. I see that with again when I work with people. It's like you're kind of comfortable or whatever, or you know you're okay. And then each time you stretch, each time you level up, like all the fears come up again. Even stuff you thought you'd let go of 20 years ago, like, do I even know what I'm doing? Am I really any good? You know?
Yeah.
So,
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, so I think I know my stuff now. I've been doing this for a really long time. I know that I'm really good at my job. I get amazing feedback. I feel like what I do, it's really, really powerful to like do all the stuff. I also love it. Like I adore my clients. I love my clients. I love my work. Like, you know, like doing a course on a weekend when you're working in the city was like a nightmare. Whereas now it's like, oh yeah. The whole weekend is amazing. So yeah, I think most of the time, and then each time I stretch myself, I'm like, oh shit, maybe I just stay at home and not do anything.
Yeah. Or maybe choose to not get into that once you stretch yourself now and just step in, 2-footed, like getting in the cold water. So just bump.
You know, and I've been doing that. I listen to Jodie Shield doing that, where it's like, be 100% in your body, right? In your hips. Like you're just closing your eyes, you're being 100% in for all the stuff, right? So if you want to get the money, it's not just going to be the money, it's going to be the responsibility and all the other stuff. So you can't like want half of your dreams. You've got to go, if you want the relationship, you want the money, it's like being 100% in on that with all the stuff that comes with that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm really like I'm meant to be here, you know?
Yeah.
Even though I didn't mean to, like as soon as the course finished, it's been going through my head. I've been lying in bed at night being like, I just want to get to sleep. Be like, what if I was on the podcast, you know, just like...
Was he even doing the podcast then? Had he already launched it when we did the training?
Yeah, I think so. It was what, it's like,
I think we'd done
how long was it, 5 months ago we did the...
September, yeah. Had we done podcast by then, Nick? We had, okay. We'd done series 1.
Because I talked to Nick about it, actually.
Or was Nick on your training?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he said we're interested in having different people, like different types of people on there, and talked about it and stuff. And I was thinking, oh, I love talking about this stuff. I would happily sit and talk about this for 5 hours.
Yeah, our big thing is like to keep getting bigger and bigger guests, but then also keep getting the people that have trained with us on, like the people that work with us, the people that are part of our community. Like that's really important to give other people a platform. Like we want to keep expanding and getting guests, you know, like, I don't know, just anybody. I don't think anybody should be out of the realm of possibility that we can get on the show. But also it's like imperative for me to just keep the essence and the spirit of full power cacao, whether it's somebody that's packing the cacao, whether it's like Nana Donna, like getting them on the podcast, like, because the thing is with a lot of people that work with us, they've got their own other businesses, you know, they're on a spiritual journey, they've been through some sort of trauma, they've been coming to our events for ages or whatever, so it's kind of like it's a family really, so it's giving people a platform within the family and just getting people to see my family, which is super beautiful, do you know what I mean? And like everybody who does the training kind of becomes part of the family as well, do you know what I mean? And then comes to the ceremonies, does their own ceremonies, talking about full pop cacao, talks about the training, and more importantly than any of that is evolving people towards self-realization, enlightenment, helping people to spread light, to shine their, to give them permission to shine, to know that they've got a choice, to know that they can be a better version of themselves. Totally. And that's what the whole thing is about. It doesn't matter if you never even use full power cacao, as long as you're going on your path as a teacher to shine more light and give more people the ability to process on this ascension path, then that's the ting, man. You get me? Yeah.
I feel the same.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing, to spread and show people their like potential and show them there's amazing stuff out there for them. And it's like that thing of like people calling themselves healers and stuff, like you're not really a healer, right? You're just helping someone ignite that within them, themselves, you know. They're really doing all the work.
Even if you are healing, it's like you're just a vessel for something higher than yourself anyway, some healing energy that's coming through.
And you can also enjoy the process.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you don't have to understand it.
Because I feel like that's the thing, if you like, oh, you know, just really like you know, be altruistic and stuff, but allow yourself to enjoy it as well at the same time, you know?
Yeah. I allow myself to not understand it. It's like I don't need to understand it. Like in a ceremony, and there's like healing energy coming in, and people be like, "Oh, that was mad." I was like, I have no idea what was happening, but it felt good, and you feel good, so I don't need to know everything about it. Do you know what I mean? I just need to trust it and allow myself to be as clear as possible vessel for it to come through.
Okay.
You get me? Do you understand?
It makes sense, right? Because then you're not going to your head either. You're staying with your body. You're staying with that connection. You're not trying to intellectualize it and stuff, which I think, that kind of takes you away.
Yeah, because when I'm in ceremony and I'm playing with my ego and like being cocky and a bit arrogant and stuff, that's just me playing with my character and actually I play with the audience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I kind of like set things up to trigger people and then bring something else in that makes them think the other way about something, and then they have this dichotomy of like, who is this human being and what the fuck is going on? What am I supposed to trust? And they've got these things on the shoulder of hating me and liking me.
Yeah.
And then they have to bring that together, and then they get a breakthrough and they're like, oh, okay. If you are interested in holding your own cacao ceremonies for your community, then come and train with us at Full Power Cacao Facilitator Training. We've got 2 dates coming up in 2025. Just head over to the website, check out the details, and book on if it is calling you. Now, back to the podcast. This is quite cool.
You like to like stir things or shake things up a bit, don't you?
Like I was doing to you before the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking
most people
with
are
you.
like nice to you and they make you feel comfortable. And you're like, could this person possibly make me feel any more uncomfortable?
No, that was your uncomfortableness.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's always about me. It's always my fault, right?
Exactly. And everything is our fault. Yeah. It's like taking responsibility for that. Everything within our life.
But
is
again,
our
I agree
fault.
with that too, right? It's like, I'm not, you know, if someone comes to you, it's not like I'm just here to be like, oh yeah, you know, that sounds really hard and like poor you. It's like you want to shake it up a bit and like question you and challenge you and stuff, right? Like, what's going on here? What have you attracted into your life? Or like...
So what else from the training? You said there was more things.
Oh, lots of things. That night, that was a real challenge, like just seeing the bigger picture in that.
Compost toilet challenge?
Oh, I don't care. I love stuff like that.
Yeah,
I love the fact that
Nick
it's just
didn't like
eco.
the compost toilet.
I don't know, just that beautiful room you have. That was amazing. Love the yoga. Love listening to you guys. The upgrade that we did with Paulina. That's I think that shifted something in me that was amazing. And now I feel like I'm doing that with my clients a lot.
Cool.
Like being called to kind of do that.
So what do you feel of the upgrades like after it, since it? What you're like, okay, now I've kind of stepped up with things.
I think it's like this thing. It's like when I left, I mean, I had loads of weird things where I was like, every time I closed my eyes, I was seeing all the different gods sideways. And then I was seeing all these animals like panthers and spirit animals and all kind of stuff like that. But that are almost like I'm being driven by something now. Like I feel that I know what I want for my life and I want to create and what I want to do and my path of like helping people like ease their suffering and show them what's possible. But it's almost like I don't have any choice anymore.
Yeah.
It's like that thing of like, you know, every night I'm like, I just want to go to sleep or wake up in the morning and think, you know, I want to focus on something. And this podcast is coming into my head thinking, it's like I manifested it, you know, just like thinking about it, being in that energy, the way you like be the person that you want to be in the future, like, like act like them. So, it feels like I know what I want and my intention, but when I try and shy away from it or when I think, oh no, actually, I'm not sure I want to go there. It's
Do you
like,
make yourself step in then?
well, something does, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, no, you're going to go and do this.
It's you.
It is me. It is me. I am. I do.
Something does.
In that moment, I'm like, I choose to do this. I choose to step in 100% with whatever comes with this, you know, like to get out of my comfort zone. But it does, I can't, it just does feel as well like there's just a force behind me, like driving it now, like even more strongly than there was before. So I think that's what the upgrade.
So you're not just willing to hand it over and just let them drive it and have no resistance? Or do you not trust them yet? Like, I'm scared of the magnificence that this being that wants the best for me is going to produce.
I know. I'm scared of like, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like or the good, or the big stuff, right? It's the stretching. It's all the stuff coming up when it's like each time you level up, each time you stretch yourself and get bigger. So I do. I fight it a little bit. And then I'm like, oh no, oh maybe, do I really? Huh? And then, come on, let's do it.
Just get rid of that. Get rid of it. Snap yourself out of it.
There. It's gone.
Yeah.
Down
Just
the
trust
stairs,
it.
out the
Bang.
door.
Boom,
It's
boom,
gone.
boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I don't even, when I get in a cold shower now or I get in a thing, bump, don't think of it, just do it. It's like the thinking folk show.
Oh yeah, no, I do that all the time. Like it's going
but
to
with everything. It's like, bam, I'm doing that, bang. I made the decision, I'm doing it. That's it, bang, let's go.
Okay, I guess if you feel it feels right in your intuition, why not, right?
Yeah. It's like going for a test at the hospital and worrying about them before you've had the tests. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's like loads of people do it. Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a test. It's like worry about the fucking thing when you've got the results, because once you've got the results and it's actually negative and you're fine, then it's great.
Yeah.
Like,
you could have avoided all that worry.
You could have avoided all the worry.
That made you ill in the first.
And
that's
also,
making you iller.
if they've got the results and it's positive, now worry about it and decide what you're going to do about it.
Yeah.
But up until that point, don't give it any fucking energy. Don't give it any energy.
Definitely.
Like I'm like, but boom, stop it. It's irrelevant, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
This is what I'm, doing all the time.
It's £1,000
teaching
for
and
that.
for myself and for others. So,
So what does the vision look like in what you're creating and what you're striving towards now?
So I started teaching other people to do what I do.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of growing what I do, doing that one-on-one, doing that in groups, teaching other people so they can do it, so they can do really impactful, effective coaching.
Yeah. So you would say like your main thing is coaching.
The one-on-one online thing at the moment, and then teaching other people to do that is the main thing, is mixing those things together. So in a session, we would do all the different stuff. We would do a bit of EFT. We would, work with the thought model. We would look at the future. We would do all the stuff in the sessions. So that's my main thing, and teaching other people so they can, like a kind of coaching school, so they can learn to do it and do it for others.
Yeah.
And then carry on doing the ceremonies.
Cool.
And I wrote a book, half a book so far.
Wrote half a book?
Yeah, just halfway through.
When you're going to write
Because
the
I was
other
like, I had
half?
all this, I guess over the next couple of weeks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I was like lying
Promise.
in bed. Yeah, I can promise you if you want.
Thank
I did
you.
like
But don't promise me if you're not gonna
words.
do it.
Very, I'm
You will promise?
I'm on it.
Yeah, cool.
I did the last 11,500 in the last 2 weeks.
Good. Deal. Good work.
I'll send it to you when it's done. Well, I've got 2 weeks.
You've got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just tell me
That's
it's
my
done. You don't have to send it
accountability,
me.
right? Accountability is everything.
Yeah, accountability is important.
It's like self-love, supporting yourself to get stuff done.
Yeah, and others, man. Like, that's why I always say to people, just tell, when you want to do something, tell people.
Yeah.
Like, tell people.
Tell everyone, tell a massive group of people, I'm going to send it to you on this date, and then
Because for some reason, like, with humans, it's like, if they don't tell other people, they're not bothered about letting themselves down.
Yeah.
But if they tell other people, they have this, like, kind of like, but actually, the only important thing is not letting yourself down.
Yeah.
The other things don't fucking matter at all.
Totally.
Don't let yourself down.
Totally.
God knows. So if you've just remember, God's always watching. The only person you can't let down is God and yourself, because actually, well, you can never let God down. God's still going to love you unconditionally. However, God has heard that and seen your commitment and knows that you've let yourself down. It's like, yo.
And you're building trust with yourself, right? I mean, how do you trust
Exactly,
yourself and love yourself? Like, you show up to a meeting with yourself the same way you would with someone else, right? You wouldn't just not show up, would you, if you'd booked something in your diary?
Exactly.
So, like, show yourself that you're important, that you stick to your word, that you... Yeah.
So what would be your, like, top 3 life hacks to happiness?
My God, I could just talk about this for so many hours. I would do something, like, significant at least every so often if you can, or at least once in your life. So whether it's a teacher training, I did like Panchakarma, the Ayurveda detox, that was like amazing. The diet with Bob and Sana, so you take the plant every day and you just have a really bland diet. You can't have any distractions, so you couldn't, for example, I don't know, go on social media or have sex or think about sex or any of those kind of things. So you're just in a really calm, like clear state, and then you're working with the plant, something like that's really transformative. Second life hack, I would say just changing your thoughts, because your thoughts are running everything. So whether that's, tapping through the trauma and stuff from the past to change your thoughts so you can be intentional with your thoughts. So if you're thinking like, oh my God, I'm not good enough or whatever, and that makes you feel like low in energy, and then what action do you take and what results do you get? It's like, what do I want to think? What's going to support me, Like, for example, like what you're saying, you're going to worry about shit that happened 20 years ago for 20 years. Do you know, causing yourself stress and stuff. Like, are you going to go and speak to therapist about it for the next 3 years. It's like, you don't talk about it. You've already thought about it for 20 years. You've already been telling everyone that story, right? It's getting a bit old now. So let's just get rid of it. So I think
get a better story.
Get a new one.
We
were getting really bored of that one.
Empowering and
that was
fires you up and
you were 10 then. You know, let's get rid of that.
Fucking that's that shit that goes on in my family all the time. People talking about things that happened like 50 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm like, are you fucking joking?
And then that's affecting your choices, your sleep, everything you're doing 20 years later. That stuff, and it's not happening anymore. But your body, because the energy's there. That's what EFT does, right? You can't change that happened when you were 10, but you can take the energy out of it. So when you talk about now, you don't give a shit. It doesn't affect your decisions. It doesn't affect your health, your sleep, you know, what you think of yourself, all that kind of stuff. So dealing with your thoughts. Third thing.
Boom. Dealing with your thoughts. Good.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Working with me, I think.
Working with you?
Just kidding. Big stuff, change your thoughts, and it would be something about the being in bliss, right? Like being that whatever you're going through, just enjoying it as much as you possibly can, all the stuff that comes, right? So some people come to me and they're like, I want to be really happy all the time, or I want to, like, you know, not feel sad. And it's like, if you think you're going to come to me and that's what we're going to do, that's not what we're going to do. In fact, you're probably going to feel sad more often because...
Especially the beginning.
Yeah.
Of the transformation.
Yeah. Because you're going to have to release all that stuff, feel out that stuff that you've maybe been pushing down with your, I don't know, drinking alcohol or overworking or overthinking even, or maybe they've been on antidepressants for ages, you know, like the guy that I was speaking about, you know, slowly came off that, like with support and stuff. And then you got to deal with that stuff that you didn't deal with since you were 15, 18 or whatever it was, You got to, that stuff that you haven't been processing or you've been pushing down with the distractions, you got to deal with that stuff. So, being in bliss as much as humanly possible through all the different things. And that is, I think that bliss is, it's like the Rumi poem, you know, of like welcoming all the emotions in like their guests, you know, and maybe when they sweep, there's something better there, or there's a learning there, or there's like a, more freedom or more peace. So as much as, and you read that 5 Regrets of Dying People. Have you read that book? It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And like all those regrets, all those times you're like, did I fucking waste 5 years of my time being like, I'm not good enough, or like, oh, I wish I was a bit, you know, like what a fucking waste of your life.
Yeah. Wish it was more like Sandra. It's like, go and do it then.
But you know the funny thing about Sandra, like I'm talking to a client, it's like,
Sandra.
He cares about like, I don't know, John or whatever, right? Who's John? This guy I see at a wedding, or I see him like at the party once every 3 years. I don't even know John, but do you know what I mean? You're living, caring about what that person thinks. Isn't that the only thing you need to know about what other people think of you? Do you know what that is?
That they're not really thinking of you.
No, that's none of your fucking business.
Yeah, true. But half the time they're not thinking about you anyway.
No. John doesn't even care about you. John doesn't go to the party wondering what you've been doing, and you've been wondering what he's thinking of you and trying to impress him for the last 7 years. Like, forget about John. Like, what do you want? What's
fuck John.
Fuck John.
John, fuck
and
off,
Sandra.
John.
Fuck
and
Sandra.
Are they
fuck
a
them
couple?
both.
Are they a couple?
I don't know. Are they a couple? Yeah. Fuck. You know, Sandra and John don't. You know, how much madness that you're living a life trying to impress them, right?
Yeah, a lot of people are living a life trying to impress the mum and dad, trying to impress siblings, trying to impress friendship groups, trying to impress. It's like, who are you? What are you? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Oh, but if I do that, then what are these people going to think of me? Yeah, but is that the thing that makes you happy? Go and fucking do it. Like, regardless of what anyone's going to think of it. Go and do it, man. And then actually, if you still feel scared about it, just go and think about other things that people have done in the world, that they've stepped beyond the boundaries of their society, or they've made changes, or they've changed the world. You know what I mean? It's like, and your thing will be tiny compared to what they've done. It's like, I better do this. Do you know what I mean? It's like rocket up, get that rocket up your ass and like actually do the thing that you need to do in the world.
Yeah, because that's the regret. The regret when I talk to people, it's not like, oh shit, you know, did I make a mistake or did I? It's always, if I look back and I didn't do it. Do you know what I mean? If I stayed like mediocre, if I stayed average, or if I didn't like explore that thing and see what it was like, or I didn't push myself, like that's the thing when you're at the end of your life and you're looking back, you know, that's the thing is like, I don't want to have regrets. I want to have like, did I explore that? Did I push myself? Did I make myself uncomfortable? Did I do all the things I wanted to do?
Yeah. Because you don't want to go up to God and be like, struggled there. And God's like, what the fuck have you been doing? Like, you had all these opportunities. Like,
Yeah.
Look what were there. You could have gone there. There was a ticket for you there. Why didn't you go? And you're like, oh, fuck, sorry, God.
Yeah, I was on that planet with all these
God's
amazing opportunities.
Go again. Don't know why God's Indian, although probably is Indian. Go again.
Yeah, probably.
Go and have it again. Go and have your turn again. So if you was to give me like a 5-10 minute little coaching session to make me a better person, what would you do?
That's a good question. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff you've got already, right?
Yeah, but just imagine like I was normal.
Well, I'm sure you've got
Well, I
stuff,
am
right?
normal, but
You've got issues and
got-
shit still.
yeah,
You're not perfect.
no, I'm not perfect. I'm a fuck perfect. Nobody's perfect, but no, I'm still human. Still make things up. Yeah, I do make things up all the time. I do actually
Such a
make things
big lie.
up constantly. But no, I don't lie. But I like making things up, and then I will tell people that it's like, no, don't worry, I'm chatting shit. But yeah, but still getting like a little bit stressed about things sometimes, or overwhelmed by things sometimes. But more like someone was saying, where are you not full power in your life? And I feel like probably other than like relaxing, I'm pretty full power at most things. I want to be full power at relaxing though, because that's not my go-to thing.
Okay.
Within my constitution, like I'm Vata Pitta, which is quite fiery, quite energetic.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Attack the day, sort of thing. But then I know I need to rest and recuperate.
Interesting, because that's a really big thing, right? I think with success and beliefs around success, about what you think that means, about how you should work, or what is it that stops you from being able to really fully relax and make that a priority? That's a question.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Asking me again.
What is it that stops you from really relaxing and making that a priority?
I think because I guess I'm always in a rush for like getting stuff done.
Where are you rushing to?
Russia. No, just for making positive change, and for like I like things being done. When something's done, then I'm more relaxed. Like I can like switch off.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean? Or like, and I think that's a good thing and a bad thing as well, because I know people that can like, they could sit in a house that they've just bought that needs loads of stuff doing to it, and sit in it for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Where I can't sit in it until everything's done. Do you know what I mean? So I think in some ways that's a really good thing, but then in other ways it's like...
So we can see the positive of it, right?
I can see, 100%.
But what's that?
I would rather be like that than be that person who sits in a house for 10 years and there's a skirting board that's still not been painted.
And what are you missing out on? What are you saying no to by not having that, going full power on the relaxation and really committing to that? What are you missing out on?
I just guess stillness. I'm missing out on stillness. And I'm missing out on just like... just being still. Do you know what I mean? Your bones and resting.
And that is that important?
Yeah.
Like really important, right?
I think it's important, yeah. I do get massage every week, but it's like that's a time for me to switch off and just like, but yeah.
What would you get from being in stillness? Why is that important?
I just think it's like amazing for the physiology of your body to just take moments of being still, even within your day. To like, there'll be days where I'll just eat something dead quick and not sit down. It's like I like the sort of French European way of like you have lunch.
Yeah,
and it's
I love
an hour
that.
and
Love
you sit.
that, talking about
Do you know
everything.
what I mean? It's like, and then you have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like something that's missing. Yeah.
And I guess that's presence as well, right? When you're talking about like kind of eating something quickly, like are you really like slowing down? Because you can do like an eating meditation, you know, where you're like with the food and you like feel like, where does this come from? You look at the colours, you feel your knife and fork, you kind of...
Yeah.
So that's like the real present version of eating. And then there's maybe you're somewhere in the middle.
Another thing as well of me not needing to eat. I don't always need to eat during the day because I can fast, do you know what I mean? So it's like I can just work through where actually I could just go and like, right, I'm going to go for a walk and like scheduling it in. But I am getting better at it. Okay.
So that stillness that you're missing out on, that means that you're not having that time maybe where you're saying that's really important, where you slow down, that's really important for your body, for your physiology.
Yeah, And I think just for mental health and like for longevity of life as well.
And how important is that to you?
Very important. Yeah, very important. Even though I do want to die in a plane crash, however, like everyone comes on planes with me now and they're like, fuck. Nick don't want to go away with me again.
I know, I don't. Yeah,
I don't really want to die in a plane crash.
You don't want to fly with
like,
him.
It's out of my hands, like how I die. But yeah, just to have, I think that's just that continual thing of being healthy, which allows you to be happier, having time to, I think I'm more creative when I've got gaps to be still and to be in nature.
Yeah.
And just go for walks, but be on my own,
Okay.
like times of being alone, which is something that I don't do an awful lot of.
So it sounds like something really, really important to you, right? It feels like something really... What's that?
Well,
yeah, that didn't sound
like,
so sure.
Because it doesn't feel like
You just told me that it's for your like...
Yeah, but it is. But it doesn't feel massively important to me. But I think it's important for everything else.
I mean, if it's affecting like your health and your physiology, and that stillness is like...
Yeah. I just keep getting told that I need to do it more.
Okay, so maybe there's not really that drive to do it at the moment.
But it's happening. It is happening more.
Okay.
I feel stiller already this year, which is great. I feel less like... I just felt like I was in a race all last year.
Okay.
I actually felt like I was constantly in a race that I had to win. And now, for the last 6 weeks, I've not felt like that, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
So where are you rushing to?
Russia. I'm rushing to awaken the world and to get cacao. It's that thing of like, I'm not going to stop until cacao's everywhere where coffee is.
Okay.
So that's quite a pressure I've put on myself.
Yeah, and that feels really important. But then the other thing of like looking after yourself, taking care of yourself, finding that, you're even saying actually that would impact your work better, right? Because then you're going to be more effective if you have those times of stillness.
But I think when you're in a startup business, it's pretty crazy for the first bit, and then you can then delegate out what...
Maybe that kind of feels like excuses though, right? That you're telling me you don't have physical, you can't have the stillness, you don't have time to build that time for yourself?
No, you do, but when you're at a startup, there's so many things going on that you're like just to sit and like schedule something in is like, it's chicken and egg a lot with a startup. Like there was moments where I was like, I need this person, but I haven't got time to stop, find the person, find what the job role is, advertise for it. It's like, that's a big task, a big chunk of a task to just find that person, interview them, work for the salary, find how to employ them, do all the employment stuff, get the contract, bang, bang, bang. You're like, I'm just going to crack on with that.
You can even notice what that does to your energy,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You notice how you're talking when you say that, right? Like what's happening in your body, like your physiology, like it's
100%.
Stuff's happening, right? That's, I guess, impacting your
but
body,
but that's
your
what
stress.
I mean. Sometimes you're like, well, I'm busy at the moment, and that's going to add more busyness. But then you go, but then I know that if I do it, it's going to take that energy off me once it's done. But that's what a lot of the processes are like when you've got a startup business, is like, how do I get to the time to hand this over? Because I know handing it over is beneficial, but getting to the stage of handing it over is going to give me more work to do than I've currently got, and I'm currently overrun already.
So I'm wondering is what you really want, because you told me that you want the stillness and the stuff, but then when you talk to me about it, it feels like that's not really a priority, and that's not really what you're wanting.
I want more people to become part of the business, and for me to have less to do with the day-to-day running of things, but actually to be able to oversee things. That just gives me more stillness and more opportunity to do the things that really matter to me, which is teaching, which is my own practice.
Okay.
My own practice. I think my own practice, I've just booked on a yoga course, which is amazing. And to commitment to just like deepening my own practice and playing instruments, like learning more mantras, which has kind of been like a thing that I've not done for the past 18 months.
Okay.
It's just like I've got a toolkit, I can get by with that, and my ceremonies are still fucking amazing, but I like learning new mantras.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's
Am
fine.
I healed?
I think
Am
we
I
need
gonna
a bit
be
more
okay?
time. I'd like to do like EFT.
I'm fucked, Nick. Jesus.
Well, I'd like to do all the different things with, like the EFT and all the other stuff. But So it sounds...
I feel good, man. Everything's good.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but it feels like now you're going to push, I guess, until you get to the point where you're able to like put things with other people, like to delegate
like I did
all
the
the different
pushing
things.
last year. I feel like this year's about less pushing. It's about just allowing things will come up and just it's happening, but to put less pressure on it.
And is there anything you want to do between now and when you do really feel like you're kind of letting stuff go and concentrating more on yourself in terms of like bringing more stillness into the business?
Into the business?
Well, into you and...
It's me just going for a walk once a week on my own.
Okay.
Minimum. For an hour.
Okay. Anything else? That feels a little bit easy.
No, that's not.
Is it not?
No.
Okay.
Not on my own.
Okay. So an hour walking every week. And that feels like that would make a significant difference or give you some of that stillness?
Yeah. Because I still do all the good stuff every morning. Yoga, getting in the water, everything.
That's so important, isn't it? How you start your morning, right?
Yeah. Yoga every day, mantra every day. And I've booked loads of holidays, so happy. Anyway, this is not about me. It's about you. If you want to get 11% off every order and make sure you never run out of full Power Cacao, just head over to the website at checkout, hit subscribe and say you'll get 11% off every order. It will be delivered to your door every month. You don't have to worry about anything. Everything's taken care of. So head over to the website, make that hit, and you have got this covered. Now, back to the podcast, Full Power. What do you offer? Why should people work with you?
Well, if you haven't been sold already, because it's amazing, right? Because it's like, whenever I describe it to people, it's like...
What is?
What I do.
Which is what?
Mixing the different therapies together.
Which are what?
Which are, do you want me to list them?
Yeah, man. You've got to elevate. Imagine you've got to elevate a picture of what you do.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, I want to work with her.
Yeah.
Sell me.
Yeah. So I guess it's all the stuff that I've talked about, but it's the Reiki, the EFT, life coaching, counselling, and even like all the yoga stuff I learned, that comes in it. I feel like the Reiki, that helps because I can check in with your energy when we're working online together. I can really like feel into energy with what's going on. And then hypnosis, like all the stuff, bringing that together. So instead of going to see someone and talking about your, like we said, talking about stuff for years about what happened, we're going to like sort through it and take the energy out of that, and we're going to work on your thoughts. It's like really holistic in that way, right? So you're going to go, it's going to like deep, long-lasting change.
Yeah.
It's not going to talk about your problems. It's not just working on the outside stuff, like reaching those goals. It's like when you go away, my clients have completely changed their lives. And also you've got all the tools, right? You can coach yourself, you know how to do EFT, like you've got some idea about like breathwork, guided meditation, all these different things to support you through the rest of your life. So even when I'm not there, so I remember on my coaching course, right? You have to imagine that you're on a boat and you're like the captain and you have all the different parts of you. So how I think of my therapy is I'm like Goddess Kali, right? Interestingly, she's wearing like a purple dress. She's on the top of the mast, and I've got all the other parts of me, like the chill part of me that's really good with the meditation stuff. I've got like who I call the bitch, who's like, when you're not doing stuff, I'm like, what's going on? You told me you wanted to do this, or no, that doesn't sound true. Like what you're saying, that's not true. That's bullshit. So I have all the different parts of myself on the boat, and I hear someone calling me, and I go and pick them up, and they come on the boat, and they go through this process with all the different parts that I offer. And then when they feel like they're done, it's not like as well, I'm not the healer, right? You do all the work. And when I let you go off the boat, when you're like ready to go, you don't need me. You're not reliant on me. You're not like, you don't need me because you're not wrong. There's nothing broken. You're creative, resourceful and whole, right? I'm just there to help support you. Yeah, it's great. That's from CTI, the Corrective Training Institute. It's just amazing. So yeah, you're not coming to me. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm just supporting the amazing person that you are. And then I let you go.
Get rid of all that you are not.
Yeah. Well, everybody else's shit that you're going to hand back to them because you don't want that stuff anymore, right? And then, so when you finish working with me, then you've got all those tools. And I see people like amazing, like they revisit their books of notes, and they tell me about it like years later, and they know how to coach themselves, and it helps with them in their families, with their children, in work, how to handle people. They've got all the tools, right? Because I'm just giving you everything. I tell you how I'm doing it while we're doing it as well. So you understand the process and you have all those different skills, even if it's like, how to breathe to calm yourself down, if it's how to let go, like that amazing thing where you disconnect from someone that you don't want to be putting your energy into anymore, right? You know that one?
Cord cutting.
Yeah. And then like I'm even doing like a thing at the moment where it's about the inner critic, and it's like, because it's such a great model, the upgrade is such a great model, it's like you're going to go and do the saboteur work. You're going to understand that voice, right? You're going to get to know it really, really well. Like, what does it look like? What does it say? So you're really aware of that negative voice. You're going to do the thought model, so you can have intentional thoughts instead of the ones you're doing before that aren't serving you. You're going to tap through all the trauma and the stuff that created that internal critic and those things that are going on. And then there may be loads of other things, like you might do the inner child stuff where you're going to bring into the room your inner child and, you know, maybe where these things were created, and you're going to talk to them, like you're going to really feel and see them in the room there, those parts of yourself that aren't healed. And you're going to talk to them and you're going to say, you know, I love you. I'm so sorry that this happened. Whatever they need to hear, maybe you want to stroke them or hug them. And you're going to do that until you feel they're healed and they kind of integrate back into you. So, just even something like that, working with the inner critic is like a real full package where you're really changing and healing like stuff long term. And then you'll know, like once you go away from me, you'll know how to, you know, if you need to cut a cord, if you want to bring your inner child into the room and heal like another, because there's usually always more stuff there, you know, like different things that happened. So you've got all those tools and skills. So I just think from my experience, and like, you know, whatever, everyone is looking for different things, but generally when I tell people what I do, they're like, wow, that's exactly what I want. I don't have to refer you when there's trauma coming up. We can work on all the stuff in a deep, long-lasting way, and then you have the tools for your life after that. And that's why it feels like the upgrade as well, because so there's the logic part of it, the kind of practical part, right, going through doing all that stuff, which really makes sense and it really works. But then there's also something that happens during that process. So I feel like people come and it sometimes, like where it really expands their awareness or it deepens their spirituality, because when they let go of those old stories, when they fully embrace that power of who they are and what they want, and they go through that stuff, and a lot of them as well, maybe in depression, anxiety, they're not really feeling their feelings, you know? And when they start to come alive, like feeling that sadness and that anger and accepting them, all the different parts of themselves, you know, that imperfection, having really strong boundaries, not people pleasing everyone, like they can be truly themselves, and they attract the right people, and people that don't like them, that's perfect, right? Anyway, so there's that kind of more, it's like a deeper thing that's going on during that process. I feel like that is something quite incredible, and lots of my clients, you just notice like a real shift and a real change in the way that they, even that, you know, the big and small thing, like the ego and observing themselves, they start to observe themselves, they start to see the bigger picture, they experience more bliss, like more freedom, like more in touch with themselves. And yeah, that's so, it's amazing.
Beautiful. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Head over to raylah.co.uk.
Yeah.
How do you spell Raylah?
Raylah.
It's in the notes. And so my final two questions before we do the bonus stuff is, what does full power mean to you?
I love it. I absolutely love you guys. I think you're honestly so amazing, and I think what you're doing is incredible. And I remember seeing you on Dragon's Den and thinking, no wonder they really like him, right?
But what does when you hear the words full power, what's the energy?
Well, it scares me a little bit, if I'm honest.
Ignites in you. It scares you a little bit.
Of course.
Okay.
Because it pushes you, right? It's like even with the cacao, like I was saying, lots of people like, or even the girl I do I did the retreat with, and I do some of the ceremonies with, and like one of my other friends who came to one of your things, they feel like really relaxed and really calm, and they really enjoy it. For me, that's not the experience of cacao. I feel like it pushes me and it stretches me and it makes me uncomfortable. So I guess it's what I want in my life, is like that full power, that embracing everything, the making the most of every moment, being present, like being 100% in on my life, but also a little bit scary.
Good. Scary is where we expand from. I just remembered actually, you was in the cacao ceremony that on yoga show.
I was.
That was next level.
And do you know what I felt there?
What?
Not to put you down again. So it was amazing. But you know what I really felt from because I was like, oh, Paulina's not here. but I could feel like her energy, like she's almost above us all at the back of the, did you feel that at all? Like kind of her energy raining down on it. That's what but no, that was really, everyone's queuing. Did you see the queue?
Yeah.
There was like all these different stuff going on, and then full Power Cacao ceremony came on, and I went over and my friend was like, I don't think we're going to get in. It's like, there's a massive queue going all around the whole building. It was like so popular. Next to the stage, yeah. Yeah, we sneaked in under the barrier.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, you want to follow the rules all the time, right?
And what is the full power expression of Raylah?
I don't know what that means.
So what is, if you're operating at full power, you're operating at the fullest version of you.
Yeah.
What is that?
That is me just living up to my,
What does it look like?
Oh, okay. What does that look like? Like what happens? Like who am I being when I'm full power? When I'm full Power Cacao Raylah, who am I being?
Yeah, if you've full powered the next 3 years, what does it look like?
Do you know what I see as well? I see like myself giving a ceremony to like, it's in India with all these people dressed nicely, but I see myself like, I'd like to give some really big ceremonies. That would be amazing. Like hold that kind of space. The book's out, podcast is going. I feel like I've got so many podcasts in me, so many different subjects I could talk about, and loads of great people I'd like to talk to as well. So expanding the cacao ceremonies, more clients, more group stuff, book done, podcast going amazingly well, and
just pure gold. Everything you wear would be gold. Gold car, gold hair, gold teeth. Would you ever get all your teeth gold?
I've always wanted to get, like, one of my best friends is a rapper and he's got a really cool grill, and I was like, I can't really do that, can I? I have no excuse to get one of those. I just look like a dick. But it's tempting.
It's tempting. I always want one gold, like a gold tooth.
Yeah, you could do that. You could totally do that.
Yeah,
what's your excuse? Just say you got a shit tooth and you had to get it.
Yeah, but it's kind of like wasting a good tooth, isn't it, I guess? It's like,
well, you'd actually get it pulled out. Can't you just get like a front?
Is that what
you could get some of those diamonds stuck on instead.
Okay. Nick, do you know anyone?
I met a girl at a festival the guy who my friend who's a rapper actually who knows, she puts like letters on your teeth and stuff. They look pretty cool. Like you could get a silver, what's your name again? Liam, a silver L on your tooth.
Oh, thank you. I only do gold.
Okay, gold. I'm sure she does gold. You can stick whatever you want on there, really.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You could get a full Power Cacao. Oh, that's what you should do. Get full Power Cacao teeth.
Tiara teeth.
I was thinking if I'd had more time, I could have got full Power Cacao nails for the podcast.
Why? How can you just tease us with that? Like, yeah. Anyway, we've been going an hour and 40 minutes.
I'll give you her details. Maybe you can get.
Thank you.
A full Power Cacao tooth or something.
Yeah.
Or gold.
Dripping in gold.
Yeah. Did you like my trainers?
I love the trainers. Love the gold. I love the fact that so many people have come in gold.
It's that abundance, right?
The 2025 is all about stepping into abundance. It's like it's here. It's just to know that the abundance beyond your wildest dreams is in this year. So it's like stepping into it, because that's the energy that's coming through. And yeah, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom and beauty and positivity. It's been amazing. Well done, because it was a big push for you, which is great. So you never have to do that again, because you've been on the podcast and now you're just going to smash podcasts left, right, and centre.
Just the beginning. Liam, it's just the beginning. Yeah, thank you so much.
I know. All your future success will be my responsibility. And
I'll be writing to you if it doesn't happen, yeah.
It won't with that attitude. Right, we've got... Thank you. Oh, that's the end of the podcast. That's the end.
Thank you for
Thank you, John.
It's like instead of a gong...
John and Sandra are ready to pick you up. You're going back to their house.
They're your mates, aren't they?
No,
they're not my mates.
They're yours. From Basildon. Right, nice one. Thanks for coming on the show. Been full powered.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't say that I've enjoyed it. Well, I have enjoyed it.
So you can't say that you've enjoyed it. She's half enjoyed. Which half of you?
The bit that wants the full power. The other bit's like, shit.
You get to question everyone else, but no one ever questions you. So it's gone from silence and meditation to rave, and I was like, what's going on? I've only walked down a corridor, man. Like, and that's what I mean. I didn't know what to expect.
Go and taste some of the cacaos. They do not taste chocolatey. Some of them taste like to go and sort of connect with the land, connect with the culture. Because I never in a million years thought that I would be like using Venezuelan cacao for full Power Cacao.
All my friends said to me, they were like, so there's 3 of you going to Venezuela, filming, no security, no nothing, and you don't even know the people. And I was like, I mean, when you put it like that, yeah, it's a bit mad, to be fair.
There was one little thing where it kind of, I felt the energy of it, and I was like, oh, this is like, when I had that little moment where it was like, oh, this is affecting me, and it was kind of like, P was a bit, was struggling with it a little bit, and